Hello everybody and welcome to race number 14 of the season here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca Cola 600, the longest race of the season. Getting ready to take you to the green flag and getting the command very shortly, and I'm here joined Vince Freeze. Been a while since you came to the booth. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Yeah, it's been since 2020, I believe, Auto Club Speedway for a playoff race. Now we're here under the lights. It's the 600, longest race in this universe. Oh, let's not forget Memorial Weekend or wherever this gets up. We're getting close to that. Salute the troops. It's the Queen City. Let's get down to the starting lineup.
Of course, on the pole for this one, Zach Flickinger in car number 96, his first pole of the year. Starting next to him, Samantha Oskin, the 63 there. Audrey Baranowskis will start P3. Jeffrey Finguy will start P number 4. And fifth, RJ Bishop. He actually got a good run in at Atlanta and gets a good qualifying effort to hopefully at least get turned around there. Keith Batson in starting the 6th position. 7th is Zachary Fitzwater. 8th, Aaron Douglas. 9th, JT Bryant. Completing the top 10, Dylan Thoreau. As we go through the rest of your starting lineup outside of the top 10, you look at your top 10 in the points there, Vince, and, you know, there's a few notables really to keep an eye on, but with the playoffs looming around, pressure is definitely on for these drivers, especially when we only have 6 more races after this race.
Yeah, it's that time of the season, Dylan, where we have to put up or shut up, as they like to say. Setups are going to be different. I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit of the schedule as we get closer to the playoffs and towards the end of the cutoffs. Got Cole Deaver leading the points right now. See if he can just maintain. Looks pretty good with the points lead, a nice points gap. And that's about it. Let's get into this race. We'll talk about strategy and all that a little bit later.
Of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway, very well known for strategy, of course. We've seen in the Xfinity race how the strategy really came on by, so we'll see what will happen when we get for the Cup drivers here. Now, they did make sure that they had the same package as last season, where they really toned down the horsepower, so they're not going to be over crazy and really smacking the wall too much throughout this race. So we'll see if that's the case for this one here if these drivers learn, but we're about to get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
As there's the command, 60 laps of action. And also keep in mind, too, Viz, this is the last race before the All-Star race. So all the drivers that have a win from last season after that All-Star race, and who also won the All-Star race, which would be Dylan Poteet, to this season who got a win, the drivers who don't have a win yet, you know they got, this is technically their best shot. Even though our All-Star race weekend is over at Coca Cola Super Speedway, this is a really infamous racetrack here, so anything could really happen.
Yeah, Charlotte's been known for either A, it's been wrecky, or 2, like you said, a strategy fest. Flickinger, you know, he's got high hopes for this playoff run. Let's see what we can do here as we go to the green flag.
Pace car makes a dive down to pit road. Flickinger, Oskin going to lead the field down. It is showtime. Green flag, we're underway at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca Cola 600.
Great start by Flickinger in a 1 and 2.
You seen Oskin try to make a block on Audrey Baranowskis there, but couldn't seem to make it work, and Baranowskis will slide into second place.
Yeah, you see the draft right, everyone using the draft down the back straightaway. Flickinger in a 3 and 4 for the first time. Hold on, Baranowskis. Baranowskis is going to just dump off the throttle to the middle of the corner.
And completing the first lap, Zach Flickinger getting a good start out here. Now, here's the funny thing about Flickinger here is that, you know, when it comes to races outside of the Daytona 500, no surprise, you can see that 96 car when it really matters the most. And this actually is a racetrack that he has yet to win altogether. He has won the Brickyard 400 before in the past, but never won at Charlotte, or, of course, the Daytona 500. And once again, the outside line really kicking in here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kind of the same thing what happened in the Xfinity Series, where once you, outside of the first lap, go in the inside line, that outside momentum is going to really kick in. And Oskin doing a little bit of a crossover, but that inside line not really kicking in. Ooh, and RJ almost scraped that wall right there in that 98. And look at the momentum working in on that 63, while battle for the lead is ensuing.
Yeah, the inside line, though, is going to check up as usual. Flickinger should have the run at the top. Oh, in the wall, almost. Getting close.
Oskin just nicked the wall right there, and Bishop will take third. You notice the inside line just really does not have a lot of momentum and grip, so passes down low is really going to be a little bit harder to do unless the outside car normally hits that wall there. Oskin not going to give up.
Inside cushion, for sure. For sure.
Battle the orange and black cars there. Oskin once again trying to go low, and low line is definitely where you not want to be as RJ barely nicked the wall, but we'll hold on for the time being. And now, here comes Zachary Fitzwater in that Menard Chevrolet trying to work on Keith Batson, the 39.
Everyone just stringing out. We all know Charlotte's known for track eating and tire eating. Let's see what could happen as we get closer to that first run stage to see everyone's battling, trying to jockey position. There's Finn guy on the outside.
A couple drivers also smacking the wall right there. They're not really pounding the wall, but just more of a light bump, which is actually a good sign. The only one we really seen kind of bouncing off the wall pretty badly was the 63 of Oskin, but you can see he's at least recovered for the time being. But the driver's got to be really happy about that situation. Definitely has to be Zach Flickinger in the 96. He is enjoying Sunday drive, and he is running away from Audrey Bernalskis there in the 46.
The pole sitter usually is the first car to hit the grip strips and all that, but Zach Flickinger's doing a great job today. See a battle for second with Bishop and Bernalskis.
Now, normally see in seasons past, those drivers that normally hit that apron obviously doesn't work out too well, and you see once again Bishop faulting into that area there, and that little strip on the apron, that's normally not a good idea where these cars like to go in, and man, Flickinger thought about blocking. He still got momentum on that high line there. Tell you, I got to give him credit there. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad, Vince. Go ahead there.
Now you got a little scrape there, side drafting, young. I mean, that's the key. Charlotte, believe it or not, with these lower horsepower, you're going to need a little bit of side draft, and a little super speedway package will come in terms of the experience. But back to you.
Tell you what, though, the driver I'm very happy to see who's getting another good qualifying effort, who's taking full advantage. Definitely has to be Keith Batson at 39. Now, remember, last season, he had 2 chances to win, unfortunately fell apart, and blew the race. First one was at Michigan. The second one was over at Thornton. Ironic enough, we're going to Thornton in a couple of weeks there, when it comes to race number 20. But Batson, you know that hard. That 39 really wants a win. He has been hungry. So he is just trying to do what he can to get not only really good qualifying efforts, but more likely even the pole for all it matters. And just, there's just days where he can be up in the front and then just wrong place for on time and everything. Heck, even April this season just can't seem to get any momentum there. Now, also, while we're looking at the field there's Kyle Matthews right now, wildcard holder number 1, outside of the top 10 with 2 wins. I guarantee you the drivers that do have a win, Vince, they're not just in the outside of the top 10, but are trying to make sure and hope that for the drivers that aren't in the top of the points outside the top 10 with 1 win, they're hoping that 09 gets into the top 10 of the points just so that way they don't have to deal with the 2-time winner taking that 1 spot alone.
Yeah, I think the key for he hits clips the apron there with Matthews is just keep getting those top 10s. Top 10s, top 5s. We've seen it in the Xfinity Series and here. The points battle is very clutch. You got to hope that these winners get to the top 10 and save some spots like you said. And I think these guys on track will give him a break too. You would hope if you want him in the top 10. And
one driver also very good to see up here who's really not had the best of seasons at all is car number 60, Scott Roush there. And as Roush Yates engines forward, about thought he made the inside line work right there, but once he clipped that little strip of the apron right there, just didn't get that momentum there. However, he is 9th place right now as that 60 machine there, and I'll tell you, this is great to see all together. Him, Seth Cole, Alex Drayton, Zachary Fitzwater, and a few others definitely not having good qualifying efforts, and they're faulting. Let's even go to the back of the field. Troubles for Nathan Hudson. Looks like he's down a cylinder in that Mobil 1 Dodge. Now, remember, he was supposed to run this at Atlanta, but weren't ready to go. And now here he is here at Charlotte. Unfortunately, a cylinder down in that Mobil 1 Dodge there. Tough blow for the Flickinger Racing machine there. And Jessica Shelton, one of the second lowest driver in the standings with a win, is that 0-2. So they're literally about single file over here within this entire back area here.
I'd say tire fall, if I don't have the graphic, I'm sure tire fall is coming into play as you see some cars are moving up higher. And as the run goes on, you want to find the grip. With the low line being a tire eater, you'll venture up to the middle and higher lines. Back to you, Young, with the full recap here, the rundown.
That's true. And while we're looking through it, of course, because this is Charlotte Motor Speedway, there are some patriotic schemes just to take worth of note there. There's your points leader, Cole Deaver, running those Napa Unites colors right there. Napa with the American flag right on it. And up ahead, his teammate, Allison Rain, in that Crowley Foods USA Chevrolet there for Evans Gardner. Both of those drivers having some American flag colors there, looking really fancy. Rain right now outside the top 20, trying to get ahead of James Qualls and Diego Yepes, a couple drivers who really have not tested the fate from last season's momentum to this season. And you got to remember, Vince, you know, that key thing you notice with these drivers is that sometimes you can get a good run last season, then this season everything just goes down the drain. What do you do in that scenario with this much time remaining? Do you just say, all right, focus on the LCQ that's coming up, or you just try your best to get some last-minute momentum there?
No, when you're in, believe it or not, can be a big confidence booster. Obviously, in this series with the LCQ, you want to prepare your best car for that if you know you're 40th or something in points. But if you're in a top 20, even 25 in points, especially with some wild card tracks, wins in top fives can still get the job done because we know how the points fluctuate in the NSRL system.
I know, right? I know it's a tongue twister at times. I can imagine. There's some right side damage on Kev Shear's 68 Jack Daniels Coca Cola Chevrolet. You'll see it coming off of turn 3 and 4. Must have pancaked the wall right there and lost a lot of momentum there. Right now he's hanging on.
You know, we're not really seeing much movement, even in the top 10. It's been a very track position, qualifying matter, heavy race. We'll see what the pit stops can do to shake that up.
Look at Dylan Thoreau trying to use the high line to pass JT Bryant. That's sometimes what you got to do right here coming out of track like this. That's for the 10th position. He's going to make it work. Look at that. That's a good textbook move right there by Dylan Thoreau, the veteran, the second-year driver. And now Thoreau trying to work on Scott Roush on the high line. But we'll tuck back on the inside line and try to see if he can work on that 60 machine, the 7. Well, we work our way back up to the front as Jeffrey Finguy has now jumped up to 3rd in the race. Baranowski's in that 2nd position. Still, Finguy with the fastest car. I'm kind of not really surprised because that 92's been picking apart cars left and right, now in the podium.
Yeah, the long run pace for a 92 looks good. Even though I don't have that telemetry, I'm sure the long run is probably during practice. The tires just don't fall off, and Jeffrey's doing a great job not hitting the apron, staying in the middle line. As you see a battle for 3rd, Bishop's going to peak.
And you can see Bishop is really trying to dive that car and trying to get all that momentum there, but right along halfway between 3 and 4, man, they just can't seem to get any bit of grip whatsoever.
No acceleration through 3 and 4. That inside line is just like driving on ice. No pun intended there, but it really is. You just don't have the grip, no acceleration. Your handling characteristics is thrown off. You see, Flickinger just seems to have that clean air effect, that bubble. No one can get to him.
He is just literally driving away with no problems whatsoever. Now, pit stop should come around a little after halfway. It should be a one-stop race altogether. So the main question, obviously, is, do you do strategy alone, or do you think, you know what, let's just do 4 tires and hope our crew goes faster? That's going to be the tough decision there regardless.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the undercut versus overcut battle, we talk about this a lot in other universes, but just in real life, right, it's all about the undercut over. Do you take the 2 or 3 laps earlier, let's say past 25, or do you try to go extend it long for less fuel and maybe a gamble, 2 tires?
Wow, look at Trent Dunham. Wow, he passed 2 spots on the high line, passing Matthews and Bryant. That was a great move by the veteran there.
Right, with the little hyper zoom right there.
I'm telling you, folks, that's a driver that's been around since Season 1 here of the Cup Series, and that just shows you what a veteran can do driving in these vehicles, man. Holy cow. That was amazing.
Taking those rooks to school, as they like to say.
And now Dunham going to go for more. Trying to work on Bryant yet again. May get Dylan Thoreau right here in the 4. That's for
rails tonight.
That's for 11th. He can get Thoreau. That's for our top 10 right there. That's called taking advantage of the preferred line right there. And, man, he made that move work. And 3 wide almost there with Aaron Douglas and the Origin black cars of Samet Oskin and RJ Bishop there. See, Fitzwater's trying to hold on to his 8th position from Scott Roush there, but can't seem to do anything there. And once again, Bishop now going to lose a spot to Oskin. We're nearing halfway. I'll tell you what, we've been clean and green. Just going to double check through the back one more time before the cycle pit stops come around. But these drivers are trying to take advantage of the high line. Some have been managing really, really good. Some not so much. And your points leader, P26 right now. Now, you notice, Vince, before we got started with the race, Deaver's got a not bad points lead compared to, say, like the Xfinity Series. But, of course, a bubble can only do so much.
Yeah, Trent Dunham is second in points, and he's been zooming tonight. Could have that points battle close up a little bit if Trent keeps making these veteran moves.
Brian James got some right side damage on that 94 Wegmans Toyota there for Archangel Racing. You see it right there. Oh, man, that car really pancaked the wall there. And you see Dunham actually lost the spot to Bryant, that 22. So, battle for second? Possibly. No, I'm telling you, these inside moves that these drivers are trying to do, not working at all. You can see Baranowski's looking. She's trying to make a move on that inside line, just can't seem to make it work. And Flickinger's just got to be enjoying what he's seeing. Their driver's just trying to make that inside work, and no dice.
Yeah, they're just testing the waters. The second run matters more than these first run moves. Maybe they're just testing the waters to set up a late race pass. We'll see what these guys do on pit stops, though, as we get closer.
Now, they may approach Nathan Hudson. Now, remember, it's like I mentioned, he is down a cylinder a bit. I don't know how much of the effect it's going to be there on that Mobil 1 Dodge there for Flickinger Racing. Quick word of note, though, Team Flickinger, for the Flickinger Racing team, they're going to be rebranded as Team Flick. Now, they announced for the driver that's taking over the 8 is Baranowskis. I thought, man, was going to make that move work, but literally had a checkup so quick there coming off of turn 3 and 4, and Finguy about took advantage there, but no word about what was going to happen until just recently. If I could find where it was, but they're making some really big changes altogether for the team, not just in the Outback Xfinity, but also for the Cup Series as well. Flickinger made the announcement saying, quote, they've decided to move up Adam Garcia from the Xfinity Series and go into Cup, and the top 2 going to come on down. Couple cars scraping the wall. And we stay green.
Everyone reminded their P's and Q's. Now it's all about the pit crews. Attention turns to them.
Oh, Alex Ferranti. Oh, man. Heavy front-end damage on that Ally Chevrolet.
Wide there almost, a little bit.
I have no idea who he ran into, but that car just got banged up for sure. Hudson's coming down, some Matt Oskin, and here comes a hornet's nest of drivers coming on down. Oh, in trouble for John Hart, Angel Navarro. Caution's going to be out.
There it is.
And a yellow flag during the cycle of pit stops. And it looks like Scott Roush is the leader. This is like Atlanta all over again. Clint Spillman's in second. Kyle Matthews in third. Dylan Poteen in fourth. And Flickinger and all those guys are in some major trouble, as well as the guys trying to get out of pit road right now. Oh, Flickinger just got around Cody right there. Same with Baranowskis and Finguy in the nick of time. Well, this changes a lot of things there, Vince. I mean, untimely caution in the top 4. They're really going to benefit this.
We've seen that with Cole Baker in Atlanta. It's basically part 2. Let's see what happens, though. We got a little bit more instead of just one person who pulled the snooker maneuver. We'll have to look at that replay, too.
We'll take a look at that incident that happened off of turn 3 and 4 with Alex Ferranti that didn't bring out the caution. There's Connor Meyer's car. Oh, man, just got absolutely banged up there, and that has since 4K TV. And then we'll take a look with the caution, and no idea what's going on with Ember Ross in the 77. I don't know if Intercell's telling her to go behind or go forward. I'm not too certain. Oh, damage on Jesse Turner. I think that's who Alex ran into there. But as the top 4 managed to come on down, they're going to be the leaders after all this. And boy, this is going to be quite a restart, I can tell you that. But caution's out. Scott Roush out in front. Let's go take a look at ourselves our first caution today for the Coca Cola 600 here at Charlotte. All right, now this did not bring out the caution. We were wondering what happened for Ferranti, and yeah, this is going to start between him and James Ellison in the 0-3, and I'll tell you what, cars are coming down pit road and about entering 3 wide. Definitely not a good combo right there. Just made enough contact, and then around goes the Haas Mercedes, the Ally Chevrolet, and the Stover Chevrolet all in the wall. And again, this did not bring out a caution. Another driver who got really lucky was Cole Deaver in the 9. Wow. Got very lucky after all that one there. So that did not bring out the caution. Now let's look at what happened that did bring out the caution. Well, this is an interesting caution that comes out. If you remember from that Xfinity race how Freeze and Smigley got wrecked, well, I'd say kind of similar, but instead of going in the apron, how about on the track? And keep an eye on John Art in the 0-5. It makes an absolute late entry trying to come down pit road and doesn't realize Navarro is right there and nowhere to go for the Zaxby's Toyota and the Old Spice Toyota. Into the wall, they go off turn 4 into the front straight. There you see Connor Meyer coming into the background right there, and then it sets 4K TV. Trying to avoid the 42. Oh, just randomly went up the course for no reason and just KO'd his car, as well as Navarro's. It was a bad judgment right there by both Connor Meyer and Agent Navarro right there. And then if you look up carefully, John Art there, Vince, I mean, he was trying to come down pit road, and he said, hell with it, I'm still coming down regardless.
Yeah, goddammit, might as well tack on a penalty and call it a day.
And mowing the grass at it, too. I mean, jeez. Add insult to injury right there for John Art, but caution's out for the first time today. Let's take you back to the green. Well, we are somewhat live, not really, out of the race. Mainly the two we mentioned, Agent Navarro and Connor Meyer, they're out of the race. 5 cars on the main lead lap as green flag is back underway. The main 5 that make a 10 for this win: Scott Roush, Clint Spillman, Dylan Pote, Kyle Matthews, and Cody Lamas. And then, just real quick, the document when they crossed the line was RJ Bishop, Aaron Douglas, Ramian Fisher, your previous race winner, Dylan Thoreau, and Ember Ross completing the top 10. And oh boy, it's going to be fun as they're going to deal with Nathan Hudson right here. And I'll tell you what, that top 5, they nailed that strategy, but now that the fact that they got Nathan Hudson right here, remember, who's got that cylinder down, keep in mind, and he's trying to do what he can to keep his car in one piece. That'll be fun. Meanwhile, the top 5 are having difficulty trying to get around some of the damaged cars.
Just turn her up high.
And look at Pote trying to use the high line.
Yep.
Pote trying to use the high line to make the pass on Scott Roush. He's in that preferred groove, and the lap cars, let alone damaged cars on the inside line. If I were Roush, I would dive that car low and just hope for the best. Or shove Turner up high. And now, here comes Spillman looking at the inside line. I'll tell you, Vince, we were amazed at what the top 5 did, managing to stay out and take full advantage right there.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do, right? When you don't have a winning race car, take the gamble. And sometimes, with the way the panic lines work and the way this game is, sometimes you just gotta play the strategy car, and these 5 did it. And let's see, they're hoping for no caution, right? Because they got a nice 24-second buffer to fish.
Mainly within from where the leaders are to 6th place right now, and I'll tell you, those guys up ahead, they are hoping and praying for a caution to come out. Now, the only one who got passed right now, out of all the drivers that were ahead of the, or behind the leaders rather, is, wow, Brian James almost just got turned by Jesse Turner right there. Was Alex Ferranti, and his car was just completely bamboozled off the pace and everything. Everyone else up ahead, well, they're really banking on a yellow, and the way how they're driving, I don't think that's going to happen. The keyword, think.
You never know with this race. You see Turner's up high, but he'll get the run.
Look at Spillman in that 24 car. He knows this is that preferred groove that you really want to be in, but remember Pote was trying to do that earlier with all those cars around him. He just couldn't seem to get the passes working, but I think pretty soon this is where that outside line's going to really kick in. And Matthews up to P2. Kyle looking for his 3rd win of the year. And if he can get at a track like this, man, gotta remember, he's had some mediocre seasons in the past, ever since being in that 09 car. And now, I don't know what they've done to that 09 machine, but they've been on top notch.
He played the strategy, that clean air, right, Dylan? Yeah, we always say the clean air, it's like the fresh air. It's like an air freshener. You put that clean air in the car, sometimes you can set sail. But right now, it's top five's not getting away. Maybe 2-3 tenths separate the top five.
No, but you can see Roush, he's trying to do what he can to get around Jesse Turner, and he is going to finally do so. Not clear yet, and now we'll clear him. So now that 60 car has lapped Jesse Turner, and we're getting closer to that 10 to go mark, so that caution really comes out, then, a lot of drivers may not get up ahead of that pace car. Who knows? Maybe a few of the drivers are up ahead, but it is looking really good for Scott Roush in car number 60. Trying to capture his second career win in the series. First under the 60, and I thought for a second I saw something there about someone blowing up, but thankfully everything was all good to go. I'm just imagining things. I hope so, but look at Matthews taking advantage on the low line. Here comes the Kings Island Chevrolet. He's actually trying to make it work. He's about cleared the 60. Wow. And he does.
Power move. Power move by Matthews.
Unbelievable. That's kind of ironic, too, with Matthews, because that sponsor, Kings Island, that's a Cedar Fair Park, and there's one actually not too far from the Speedway. And how about it, though? He got the lead on the low line, looking for his third career win, not only of the season, but altogether, too. But, wow. I didn't think that inside line was going to really work out. And now, look at Brian James work on the high line there, but Roush was completely caught off guard right there. Kyle Matthews as Brian James hit the apron right there. Wow. Matthews managed to make the low line work and gets around Scott Roush's. Roush now trying to use the high line. Oh, look out. Oh, don't go 3 wide. Oh, my goodness. Hang on to there, fellas. They're going 3 wide, hanging to 1, and the leader's on the low line. Now Roush on the high line just flew right around the 09. What a good move by Roush, not giving up right there, and will retake the lead. He just ran away with that run right there.
Yeah, Matthews should get a run here if he stays on the low line.
Meanwhile, as Roush continues to work on Brian James, let's see if we can work our way towards the front of the pack. While some changes have been noticeable, how about Allison Rain trying to get into the top 10 there? Trent Dunn the 1, Curly 10th. And some of these guys are way ahead from the whole pack alone. Zach Flickinger, you got to feel for him. He had a dominant car today. Now outside of the top 10, he was really just hoping to just rim right away around, but unfortunately not the case. Find Scott Roush. There he is. They got around John Art in the 05. Now he's put a lap down. Now Roush trying to work on Brian James as we're about ready to hit 10 laps to go at the line. I mean, you got to give credit to Roush. I mean, he got back the lead, but it's far from over. Telling you, the 2nd through 5th, they have not been able to reel in the 60 ever since that 3 wide move. And speaking of 3 wide, Alex Drayton, Quentin Moore, and Brett Pritchard were in a 3 wide just earlier. Now we'll slow back out to 2. And now a lap car in between, a sandwich of Scott Roush and Kyle Matthews. Matthews moves the 05 out of the way. And now, Matthews is not giving up on that 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, he's hungry for more. Let's see what he can do here. As Scott goes the low line. Matthews follows a little bit, kind of in the middle.
And we've seen drivers get 3 wins in a season before. Just to name some of the drivers: Chris Washer, Kyle Keith, Mason Powers, Joshua Osborne, Alex Drayton. Those are some of the drivers that have managed to do so. Kyle would be the next set of drivers to accomplish that feat. And he'd be one of the few drivers to do it right before the All-Star break. And you see that outside line. You see Roush is just trying to do what he can, that inside line, trying to do what Matthews did earlier, but man, Brian is just trying to hold on to stay on the lead lap, and I don't blame him to do so, but that's allowing Kyle Matthews to really make some ground, try to do whatever he can to make a pass. Don't count out Clint Spillman at 24 as well. Him, Dylan Poteet, Cody Lamas. Some of the drivers that have been very well known to win races in the Intercell, and ironic enough how Cody and Spillman are up here. That's the drivers tied for the most wins all time in the Universal Orlando Cup Series. Matthews once again. Can't seem to make it work.
Yeah, tires are starting to age now, young. Got to be careful with that, especially with the lower line. The more you hit lower, the more they wear.
And the inside line's been a lot of hit or miss, too. I mean, Matthews made it work once, and you've seen a few drivers make the inside line work, but you know where you want to be. You want to be on that high line. Hell, you want to be on the high line nearly rim riding the wall there, for goodness sakes. Once again, now Roush trying to lap James Ellison, the 0-3. You can just see, man, that inside line, it has been a complete hit or miss, and Matthews knows, man, the time is ticking. 5 to go, 4 when we hit the stripe. And I think for Scott Roush to pick up a win, this is all what he needs to do. Caution comes out now, the race is over. Scott Roush in his return to the Intercell so far has not been too kind to him. He's had a couple of rough patches. He's been trying to get some redemption. He said it was good to be in a familiar number, a familiar sponsor, and everything else in between. But he wished things were a little bit better early on. But hey, if he can get this win, this would mean a lot. However, here comes Kyle Matthews on the high line.
Matthews is going to send it with the rim ride. That's what he can do.
I think that's the last thing the 60 needs to see, is that 0-9 on the high line. He knows how good that high line can be. Matthews shoving the 0-3. Remember, that's it. That's teammates right there. With 3 to go. Matthews couldn't make it work. Now he gets down low to the 0-3, trying to make a pass. Matthews may try the high line again. Nope, going to tuck back to the low line. Some drivers are moving the high line. Matthews is coming down pit road, though. Kyle Matthews surrenders second and will come down pit road.
And making enough fuel, that's the next question.
Pit road shenanigans. That was second place that surrendered his spot. I don't believe it.
Can Spillman do anything now?
He is all over Scott Roush's bumper. Will these 4 stay out? Looks like they will. They about wrecked with Kev Shearer, though. But white flag, final lap for Scott Roush on the 60. Scott Roush, it's been a long time since his last win. A couple of seasons ago it's been. As Matthews now leaves pit road. Got a feel for him on that heartbreak right there. Spillman. He's got to do what he can, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to let Scott Roush have his moment. Welcome back to Victory Lane for Scott Roush in car number 60. Checker flag. Roush wins at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca Cola 600. A job well done for the Roush Yates Engines Ford Mustang. And Ford. How about this for both Finguy and Roush? They managed to win for their team. And they're the only Fords that have won this season. Unbelievable.
And what a great finish we had there today, Dill Young. And I think that's the epitome of straight. You got to feel for Matthews, though. 2 to go, and you got to pit. Guess they just didn't top off on fuel when they made that stop.
Got a feel indeed, and unfortunately, he finished outside of the top 10. That allowed Flickinger to jump up to 10th, so at least some momentum altogether. But Scott Roush victorious. He will get the win tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Clint Spillman, great effort altogether. Still yet to decide between him and Cody Lamas for all time on the wins. Cody Arachna finishing 4th. Dylan Poteet in 3rd. RJ Bishop, he was the fastest of the drivers that we're actually a little bit closing ground on the leaders, but of course, nowhere near. Still 20.5 seconds back. Finished 5th regardless. Dylan Thoreau, 6th. Aaron Douglas, 7th. Ember Ross, 8th. Trent Dunham, 9th. And Zach Flickinger, like I mentioned, completing the top 10. Let's just find where Matthews finished all together and finished 38th. Couldn't hold on gas, and you got a feel for him right there all together. Here's a look at your rest of the finishing results here as shown. Just a few notables right there. Jeffrey Fingai, Roush's teammate, came away 13th. Fisher, 12th. Keith Batson, 14th. Samet Oskin, 15th. Some drivers that were bound for that wild card slot right there. Really taking some good runs, some of them, and others not so much. Cole Deaver, your points leader, will come away 26th. And you mentioned before with him and Trent. Trent's going to gain some ground right there. But interesting enough altogether. 35 cars finished the race altogether on the lead lap. 40 in this race. And the only two out of the race, Connor Meyer, Asian Navarro, out of the race with their incidents altogether. As that is it for the Coke 600 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. First off, I want to thank Vince for joining me in the booth. It's always a pleasure having you here, and it's always great company here. So thank you so much for coming along here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. And thanks to troops out there on this Memorial Weekend, to those who follow and serve. Appreciate you guys.
Of course. Thank you very much to everyone that comes around and everything. So we'll see what will happen. Of course, for those watching on the premiere, keep an eye a little bit later on YouTube. There will be a fan vote that will be coming around once this race is done premiering, so stay tuned. You will not miss out. The rules will be explained in the video how it will go. So other than that, we will see you next week. We'll be at Coca Cola Super Speedway for the showdown and, of course, the main event that will go on by. So until then, for myself and Vince Freeze, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe, part of the Intercell, and subscribe button down below. You've been watching production of the Intercell, where racing is living. Till then, congrats one last time to Scott Roush on the victory. We will see you guys later. We head to Coca Cola. Till then, goodbye, everybody.